See that guy right there? Looks like he's hit rock bottom. Well, that guy's actually me.
See, I bet you that was a fuse. See how he was crouching like that? I guarantee you that was a fuse. See? This is how the average fuse plays. You don't actually just want to fight people. Your goal is to sneak up on them and unload as many grenades as you can. The Fuse Tactical has a hitbox bigger than Gibby himself. So, why would I try and shoot with bullets when I could just tag someone with this and get free damage? This is exactly what goes through a Fuse's head. Why use gun when nade do trick? You know what I'm saying? So we can see, I haven't seen a Fuse main that hasn't done a finisher before, or died trying to do one, so it's only right if I do one as well. Also, if you want to talk to your teammates as Fuse using an Australian accent, that is only customary, and it was also recommended by most. As an average Fuse player, you have to use all of your nades before you shoot. Even if the enemy's right in front of you shooting, it's only right to use your nades. As you can see, I'm greatly advantaged by using my nades, regardless of the situation. This is how the Fuse works. Now, the ult is mainly so you can hear the sound, but it also works as a really good zoom. This is usually what it's for. You only want to use the ult directly on top of yourself or really far away to where you won't get up to it in time by the time it goes away. Knuckle Dusters are actually for doing the damage. You can also use it like a Bloodhound scan. A lot of Fuse mains use it as a Bloodhound scan. Now, regardless of how lit or how close your enemy is, you should always have a pre-nade ready to hit your enemy in the event you actually can find them. The best thing you can do is nade your enemy and run for your life. This is how most Fuses survive. If you stand in your knuckle cluster, that's okay. A lot of Fuses do. This is a scary situation as I actually do not have nades. For most Fuses, this is death. Luckily, I found more nades that I could spam by the time another team got here. Once again, I have some confidence. It's important to remember as Fuse that you don't actually take fights. You only take third parties. So if you're going to be Fuse and you hear fighting, it's customary to run in and throw as many nades as you can because someone is probably somewhere lit, and that's something you can take advantage of. As you can see, it's free kills. It's important to note that Knuckle Dusters and Gunfire are primarily for just luring your enemies in. Once they get actually close, there's a lot of different precautions you have to take. This is what an ult is for. A Fuse ult is in case you actually have to fight someone face to face. Dumping the ult gives you life packs in which you can't die. The ult should always be used directly on top of your head. This way, people run into the ult and they end up dead, as you can see from this person. Now, if you ever see or hear another Fuse, you should probably run in that direction because it might be the only actual 1v1 kill you get. As a Fuse, usually the only person you can kill consistently is another Fuse. That was the average Fuse. As Fuse, your main goal is to distance yourself from the enemy. This way, you can keep spamming them with nades from a distance, and they can't actually do anything about it. Most Fuses also like to run with a charge rifle. Unfortunately, I could not find one at the moment, so the next best thing I could find was a Rampage. It's important to use your nade the second you get it. It doesn't really matter how accurate you are because you'll have another one in just a few seconds. Now remember, fighting's tempting, but as a Fuse main, your goal is to fight people at their weakest, so if they're still fighting, they might be a little strong. The best time to fight is the second after a fight, when they actually have to heal from fighting their enemies. This is when they're weakest. It's important to remember that if you can't find people and they're hiding, you don't want to go and actually have to 1v1 them. So to prevent this, you can just shoot nades in a general direction you think they are, and often they have to appear or they'll take a bunch of damage. This is once again an advantage of being Fuse. Now remember, it's always most efficient to kill people with Knuckle Dusters, so you don't really have to do much else. If you use your Knuckle Duster, you'll win. This was the average day in a life of a Fuse main. If you want to see me do the average day in a life of a different main, well, you could probably just subscribe and like simultaneously. If you are not capable of doing that, like let's say you were a Fuse main, I don't know what to do, but there's probably a YouTube guide to help you with that. Thank you for watching.